Hey YouTube, it's Guff from the Friday Night Shooters. Hope you guys are all well. Today I'm going to be talking about freshwater in Rust, as in rivers, lakes and streams. Now, I got the idea for this originally a day, or yesterday I think it was, when somebody commented on one of my videos, a guy by the name of MetalGear Game. I'll post his comment on the video so you can see it. He posted a comment suggesting, in my earlier video I asked for suggestions, how do you think the game could improve? And he suggested adding water, maybe some ponds or creeks, rivers, something like that, and add some fish to add new tools like the fishing pole. And he said he'd love to see that. And it got me thinking. I thought it was a brilliant idea, but the more I thought about it over the last last night and early this morning, I thought there's limitless potential for this. And for me, I think it would be a really welcome introduction to the game. So let me backtrack a little bit. Rust has sort of become a game where you just build up as many guns as you can quickly, build up a base, and you go around and shoot other people and raid their bases. Now, that's well and good, and it is good fun, but the developers have expressed that they want it to be a survival game, not so much a zombie survival game. Hence, the zombies have been removed, as I mentioned in yesterday's video. Now, what I'd like to see is more of a tipping of the balance towards the survival, a little bit more towards a model where you can play on your own for a while, and even on your own, it's interesting, and then you team up with other people. Now, there is water in the game. At the moment, the sea, it looks like the ocean or the sea. You get it at the edge of the map. I have never tried to actually get into it, so I don't know what happens if you try to get in. I must try that. What I'm talking about, though, is the idea of fresh water. So streams, creeks, some people might call them, coming down from the mountains, going into maybe a wider river. Maybe having one decent river running through the whole map, and a lake, maybe some small lakes or ponds, all of which would be freshwater. Now, a number of ways I think this could work. One, you don't have to get water, you don't have to get any liquid to drink in this game to survive. You do need food. You need the chicken that you get from killing any animal. I think it's, at this stage, it would be nice to see needing water. I mean, humans can survive for quite a while without food, but very little time. I think it's only 4 or 5 days you can survive without any water. So I think that's an element that should be in the game. Then getting the water, maybe up the little streams up the mountains that might be fresh naturally, where it's harder to get to. But then maybe as it goes downstream, becomes more stagnant in ponds, maybe in lakes, it wouldn't be hygienic to drink, wouldn't be safe to drink. So then maybe you'd have to develop some sort of water filtration system. And I like that idea. I like the idea of crafting the different elements, maybe a rough sand filter to filter out the sort of the heavy sediment, using cloth to filter out more, and then developing more useful and better filters. You could also, there could be like a hygiene meter where you have to wash, maybe jump into a river, jump into a lake every now and again to feel completely fresh. I mean, this could be quite cosmetic, or it could be an actual dynamic element of the game. Also, the rivers and streams, I think it would be a really good idea if the speed of the current and the water level was dynamic. So when the rivers are running high, maybe a stream that you can cross quite easily normally would sweep you quite far downstream if you get caught in it after heavy rain. Now, rain, I've just mentioned it, the key word. We would need, for this to feel realistic, you'd need to have rain. At the moment, we have a tropical island situation where the sun always shines in Rust, unless, of course, it's nighttime. So dynamic weather. Dynamic weather would bring rain, possibly snow, seasonal snow. I mean, I could make a whole other video on that. But let's just stick with rain at the moment. Rain would obviously be your source of the fresh water, and maybe some mountain springs coming out of the higher mountains. The rain would then, the dynamic weather would create the rain, swell the rivers, maybe make them uncrossable, and yeah, just add a brilliant element to the game. Also, if you're wearing certain of the lower levels of clothes, so imagine you're wearing just a cloth trousers, cloth chest wear, cloth shoes, cloth hat, that kind of thing. If maybe you'd still get cold in them if you got wet in the rain, or if you made a river crossing, maybe they wouldn't be enough to keep you dry at night, so you'd have to build a campfire if you're out by night. You can't just run around in your cloth. Maybe you have to have a higher level of clothes. So maybe you'd have to as well design and craft water carriers so that you can carry a certain amount of water with you at a time. But if you carry a lot, it might slow you down with the extra weight, because water is inherently quite heavy. 1 litre of water is 1 kilo. So, you could get maybe once in a blue moon flooding, like a floodplain that comes out from the rivers, you know, a couple of 100 feet, 100 meters either side, and any bases that are in that vicinity might get floodwaters on the lower level seeping in through the metal and wood structures, which I think would be really cool. And I suppose one other idea that you could have is maybe you could build simple boats to get you down these rivers. So maybe you couldn't go upstream in them; it'd be too difficult, or to cross the lakes, or maybe even to get out onto the sea a little bit. A simple wood boat, a little bit like the Minecraft boat that you can craft, but that would be a quicker way of going downstream quickly to traverse sections of the map. Also, the original commenter MetalGear, he mentioned fishing. I think that's a great idea, a way of getting food. Maybe you wouldn't get as much. Maybe you'd only get the occasional fish, as opposed to getting lots of chicken when you go to the effort of killing an animal, chasing it down, hunting it. But fishing as well. Maybe you could build a fish farm. Could be another idea where you corral a certain area off of in a bend in a river, and you can actually, if you leave it, and hopefully if no one else touches it, you could get a mini fish farm going to keep your food going. So they're just some of my thoughts on where to go with freshwater in the game. I'd love to see some of them implemented. I think thirst should be there. I think hunger and thirst should go side by side. As a player, you should feel thirsty if you don't drink for a while. Therefore, you need a source of fresh water. That should, if rain is too difficult or takes too much time to implement at the moment, then quite possibly just mountain streams, a spring in the mountain, little stream that runs down, possibly into a single lake. Even that would be interesting. So you'd have to visit that, and of course you'd have people then camping out near the water source's bases, controlling the water source. So you'd have that whole supply and demand. It would be an interesting element for the communities on each server, how it gets managed. I imagine there'd be various different ways of managing that. And of course, filtering the water as well. You could get ill if you drink bad water, like you would in real life. You could get giardia or any of these horrible stomach bugs that could lay you low for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or whatever the way the game mechanic might work. I think I've covered pretty much everything I wanted to mention there. I want to thank again MetalGear Game. I'll link his YouTube channel in the description for making the comment and sparking the ideas in my head. It was a really interesting comment, and that's what I'm loving about the channel at the moment. It's a small channel. I know it's small, I like it that way, but I get to engage with each and every comment, everyone who contributes in some way to the conversation we're trying to have. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave it a like, and please, if you think of something that I've missed out, another cool idea to do with freshwater, add it in the comments, and maybe I can make an update video in a week's time or a couple of weeks' time with the extra ideas. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed to the channel already. I really do appreciate it. I've had a huge jump in subs from well under 100 to up to 150 in the last month or so, mainly because of the Rust videos, and I'm absolutely delighted for that. It's nice to see the channel grow. I've no delusions of grandeur, but nice to see it grow indeed. So thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it, guys. I've been Gov from the Friday Night Shooters. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.